Sparklines are small charts with limited layout options. They are perfect for inline graphs since they display only the data itself with few adornments. View styles are limited, and developers must supply the Sparkline control with dedicated data sources which contain precisely the set of data that will be displayed. Advanced data shaping functionality is not included. The following demo is based on the scenario previously used to demonstrate the XRChart control, and it includes two techniques to deal with a custom data source setup. In a previous video, you saw me configure a chart control for a detail cell in a report. I've opened this demo, and you can see the report on screen now. The per row chart control in the detail region demonstrates perfectly what a Sparkline usually looks like. Using the chart for this setup was rather complicated. The XRChart is a very flexible control and it provides many options, but the pre-configured defaults are not optimal for a very compact display with few visual elements. The XRSparkline, on the other hand, is made for precisely this purpose. I remove the chart from the table now and add the Sparkline in its place. I use the context menu command fit bounds to container so that the control utilizes the space in the table cell completely. As you can see, the visual appearance of the Sparkline is similar to that of the chart I used previously. However, the Sparkline only supports a small subset of the view styles offered by the chart. You can see the selection in the combo box for the view property in the Smart Tag menu. I set the data member to lines.product.prices and the value member to price. The same setup as the chart that was used before. I switch to the preview and the Sparkline works, only the line looks completely different from the previous result. The reason is that the Sparkline uses one standard setup for its argument scale, and this is not configurable. Qualitative scale is configured, so all values are displayed in their natural order within the data source collection. The Sparkline does not have a filtering feature like the chart, so that all the historic price information in the sample data source is included at once. I'll demonstrate two techniques to change the Sparkline appearance to be the same as the chart. Both approaches require me to use a different type of data source. The JSON data source that was added by the report wizard is very convenient because it automates the process of loading JSON data and making it available to the report as a schema. However, to support the Sparkline, it's necessary to process the data after it's loaded, and in C# this requires static types. I have now added a file to the project that declares 4 classes. These represent the types of JSON data that you've seen before in the chart demo. The top of the structure is the order type, which includes a list of order lines. Each order line refers to a product, which includes a list of product prices. Back in the Report Designer, I use the top-level Smart Tag menu to create and assign a new data source. I choose Object in the wizard, and then I select the type order from the list of types found in the demo assembly. This data source will only be used to provide a design type schema to the report designer, not to load the actual data. I activate the Field List tool window. You can see that the new object data source is included in addition to the JSON data source. The structure it represents is the same, distinguishable only by the capitalization of the property names in the usual C# style. One note, the line value calculated field is now displayed as part of the new object data source. Calculated fields are automatically associated with the data source that is assigned to the report. I add a handler for the event data source demanded on the report. This is the best place to supply a data source from code if necessary. Since the required NuGet package has been added to the project already, the code to load the JSON file is simple. The resulting collection is assigned directly to the data source property. To display the report with its new runtime data source, I run the included WPF application. It is set up with a previewer and the report comes up as expected. This change to a typed data source was easy. And of course, depending on the type of data binding you use, you may already have static data types in your project. Of course, nothing has improved so far about the Sparkline data display. But this is the point where I have a choice. There is now a defined place in the application code where the data is loaded. And one option I have is to process the data after it's loaded, but before binding it to the report. The other choice is to specifically supply the data for each Sparkline instance when it's needed, but I'll show you the first option first. I add a block of code to the event handler. This code processes the entire data structure, and on the nested level of the product prices, it filters the list to include only prices within a certain date range. Then it sorts the prices by the date field. You may think that the code is rather complex for the task at hand, and you're probably correct. However, this example demonstrates how data loaded from any source can be processed and reshaped entirely to any custom requirements before binding it to the report. I run the application, and the result is obvious. The Sparkline now displays only a small number of values, and the shapes of the curves are the same that were displayed previously when I used the chart control. Back in Visual Studio, I revert the last changes by commenting the code I inserted and reactivating the simple direct assignment of the loaded data. In the designer, I select the Sparkline control and add a handler for the before print event. The code for the handler retrieves the current order line object using a helper method on the report and then sets the data source for the Sparkline by filtering and sorting the nested price details as before. A final important step is necessary now. I reset the data member property on the Sparkline control. This is important because the dynamically constructed data source lists do not have the nested structures of the top-level report data source. I run the application one more time, and you see the same result for the Sparkline as before. This concludes the demo. You've seen that the Sparkline requires a data source with the correct content, and that there are several methods to create that content. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, please give us a thumbs up, or you can leave us questions or comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified whenever we release new content. Thanks for watching, and thank you for choosing DevExpress.